Are you in doubt between getting the Coros Pace 3 or the Coros Pace Pro? Then this video is for you. For months, I was in doubt which of these two watches I should get, and I have made my decision. So if you want to know with which watch I decided to stick, keep watching. Before I dive into the full comparison, I will give you my final verdict, because that way you don't have to watch the whole video if you don't want to. If your budget allows for it and you have a slightly bigger wrist, go for the Pace Pro. It has all the features that you would want of a running watch. It has full offline maps, which is really great. Beautiful screen, really good touchscreen. It's just a really solid choice. But if you are on a budget and you just want to know if the Coros Pace 3 can kind of live up to the Coros Pace Pro, the answer is yes. This is an extremely decent watch. And if you are like me and you have a smaller wrist, you might just prefer the Pace 3. My name is Caroline, and on this channel, Run Letters, I talk all about running gear, gadgets and events. So if you're interested in that, then make sure to subscribe to the channel and make sure to grab my free Ultimate Running Gear Guide, first link in the description, in which you will also find some really good discount codes. Now let's dive into the rest of this review. First, let's talk a little bit about the price. Right now in Europe, the Coros Pace 3 is 250 euros, and in the US it's about $230. The Coros Pace Pro in Europe goes right now for about 400 euros, whereas in the US it's about $350. Okay, now that we've covered that, let's talk a little bit about the design and comfort of these watches. Both are extremely comfortable. The Pace Pro is a little bit heavier at about 10 grams if you use the silicone strap, I think 7 if you have a nylon strap like this one. So that's not that much. On your wrist, you don't really feel the difference. At least I don't. I think both watches are extremely comfortable. As somebody though with a smaller wrist, I think the Coros Pace 3 looks a lot better on my wrist than the Coros Pace Pro. To me, this looks kind of chunky. But I will say, I have a very small wrist. I'm pretty petite. So if you are slightly taller or you are a guy, the Pace Pro is gonna look great. Other than that, these two watches look pretty similar. They have pretty much the same design. You have the Coros brand on the left side, and then you have a dial and a back button. And same goes here on the Pace 3. On the Pace Pro, you have this steel dial, whereas on the Pace 3, it seems to be a bit more like plasticky or something. I'm not sure. But that does make the Pace Pro feel a little bit more premium, and that also comes to play when we talk about the screens. So the Coros Pace Pro has a 1.3-inch AMOLED display, and the Pace 3 has a 1.2-inch mineral glass display. Now AMOLED, mineral glass, to me that didn't say quite much until I had the two watches, and it does make a big difference. The AMOLED screen is a lot brighter, but I have to say that I've never had a single problem reading the screen on my Pace 3. Out in the sun, not a problem. But yes, when you hold the two next to each other, the Pace Pro is so much brighter. Besides that, because of the bigger screen, you end up using the touchscreen on the Coros Pace Pro quite a lot, whereas on the Pace 3, I never use it. I don't even think you need a touchscreen on this because it's not faster in any way. Whereas on the Pace Pro, you can just like go through the different options on your menu, you can zoom through, and it's really fast and quick. Then also talking performance, the Pace Pro wins because the processor is so much faster. It just feels snappier using and interacting with the UI on this watch. Then talking about GPS and heart rate accuracy, personally, I've not seen any difference between these two watches. I think they are just as accurate. I don't think there's anything necessarily better on the Pace Pro there. So if that matters a lot to you, you're good with either or. I haven't done any side-by-side comparisons when it comes to these watches and my chest strap heart rate monitor, but from the results I've seen so far, it is very similar. They might be 1 or 2 beats off, but generally the heart rate monitor is just pretty accurate. Now, when it comes to battery life, both of these watches are a solid choice. In daily usage, the battery life is about the same-ish, I would say. The Pace Pro is just slightly better. But when it comes to GPS usage, that's where the Pace Pro is going to win. So here you really need to decide how you use your watch. If you want to run long distance throughout the week, you're still going to be fine with the Pace 3. I run a lot of 20 to 30k runs in a week, and often I can go like 5, 6, 7 days with the Pace 3 without charging it a single time. Basically, I would say anywhere up to 50, 60, 70k races, or maybe like 50 milers, the Pace 3 should be absolutely sufficient. But if you want to go beyond that, if you're looking at doing 100ks, 100 milers, you probably want to go for the Pace Pro. And if you're even crazier than that, maybe neither of these watches are for you. And then last but not least, I need to mention the offline navigation that is available on the Pace Pro and not on the Pace 3. On the Pace 3, you get breadcrumb navigation. On the Pace Pro, you can get full offline maps. There's also more storage space on the Pace Pro, but I have found that generally maps don't take up much space, so I think you can store a lot on both watches, but if that matters to you, the Pace Pro wins. Personally, I thought that the offline maps would be the reason I wanted the Pace Pro, and if it wasn't for the bigger size of this watch, I would have gone for it, but it wasn't enough to fully sell me on the watch. I figured out that the breadcrumb navigation is not bad. You can use it on a lot of runs and it will guide you sufficiently enough. When I get into very narrow trails, that is when I will have to maybe pull out my phone because it might be too difficult to figure it out with the breadcrumb navigation, where then the Pace Pro might have been my solution. But when I go out into very dense trails, I'm pretty much always running with my hydration vest, meaning I will always have my phone with me, also out of safety. So at that point, I don't really care if I need to grab my phone quickly to check what the right route is. So in the end, you just need to decide for yourself what you find most important. Do you want offline maps? Pace Pro. Do you want a small watch? Pace 3. Do you want the best battery life that you can get between these two? Pace Pro. Do you want a touchscreen that you will use a lot? Pace Pro. Do you not really care about the touchscreen? Then maybe the Pace 3 is good enough. So you will have to make a decision for yourself. I hope this video was helpful to you in any way. I know that there are a lot of videos about these two watches, so if I did not cover something that is specifically important to you, then make sure to check out one of the other reviews that are out there. But maybe I addressed something that you were in doubt about, and if that is the case, then I hope this video helps you to make up your mind. If so, let me know in the comments, and if you have another specific question, also let me know. I'm happy to answer it. And without further ado, I will see you in the next video.